That's forgotten how big Willie actually is.
Perhaps the presence of Willie.
You got skill, son.
Uppercut right hand by Big Willie.
Too fancy for you.
Welcome to episode number 9 of The Take. Here we are again. William, it's a lovely day. It's
beautiful.
Sun shining, the birds are singing.
Is it winter?
Not really.
No, spring, something like that.
I'm wearing a flannel and I've regretted it. It's quite
like
hot
a lumberjack.
It's a good
You
shirt.
wouldn't believe you're like a Bronte pharmacist, like Eastern Suburbs boy, would you? You think I was the Eastern Suburbs boy?
You are now.
No way.
Been here
I'm
25
not.
years.
Yeah, pretty much.
I actually bought this at one of those survival stores in Dubbo years ago.
What were you
'cause I
doing
was
there at the
cold.
zoo?
I was freezing. Yeah, we're at the zoo. And I think I didn't take enough warm clothes.
It gets cold out there, man.
It does.
Ask Andrew Ryan.
You're at Tamworth on the weekend,
I
actually.
was, mate.
Speaking of country towns.
Yeah, I was just doing a little bit of work out there. Not that much. Just got invited to go out to the races there. I'm going to act like I did a lot of things out there, but shout out to Tamworth. They looked after me for a couple of days out there. Had a great time. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm going to say. I won on the punt, and I don't usually punt.
Yeah, that's changing, though. We're adding this into you.
Yeah, betting site. Betting site's got me going.
Well, we are brought to you by bettingsite.com.au. If I don't say that, Craig.
Have you been to Tamworth?
I love Tamworth.
What do you love about it?
I
Just say it just because, hey, they're listening. They are listening. They're big listeners.
It's the vibe. I love the vibe of Tamworth.
Did you get a photo with that fucking golden guitar?
I didn't. I tell you, years ago.
I did.
When I did the dubber, you got a photo with the golden
They
guitar?
made me do it.
Who made you do it? No one made
Someone
you do it.
did.
You did it yourself.
Yeah, I did. It was a selfie. No.
Long lens. You got a selfie stick? Bet
Nah.
you do.
I don't never take selfies, bro.
We went to Tamworth. We went on the same trip where I bought this wonderful shirt in Dubbo, and we drove around when my young bloke was even younger, and it was wonderful. Actually,
I love the country. I'll be out there.
I taught my son how to bet trifectas
Shut
at
your
the age
mouth.
of 4, so that was good. That's
Well, I'm
parenting.
ringing Finn up for tips now.
He goes better than you. So this week there has been a lot happening. I feel like there's a lot happening every week, and we sort of have to. Some weeks we have to talk about things in depth. Sometimes we have to sort of get through them. There's a bit to get through this week. Let's start with Latrell Mitchell has come out and he has passed on to the police some what are obviously pretty horrific messages that he has received via social media. Social media, as we all know, is a cesspit, but Latrell Mitchell has been racially abused, and he has decided to take that further than just airing it out and calling it out on social media. And he's actually gone to the police, and I think it's great. I think that NRL players or any sports person at all should be completely immune from any sort of abuse from people, whether it's about their multis or whether about it's whatever it is.
Yeah.
Will, is this a good thing?
It's a great thing. I commend Latrell for doing this. Nothing but love for that kid. Young, proud, Indigenous brother. It's amazing what he's done. He cops so much shit. Like, I follow him on social media. He's forever, copping it, hey, this and this, and just putting him on. He'll screenshot it and then he'll put it on his story. Obviously, that wasn't working because they actually loved it. They thought they were getting, he's pretty much getting me more followers. These pathetic pricks, you know what I mean? That's how they look at it. It brings attention upon them. So he's just gone, I'm just sick of this shit. Standing up for himself, bullies, cyberbullying, Aboriginal, Indigenous, Pacific Islanders, anything, white, black, all colours. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just sick of this racial bullshit that's going on now. And I'm glad he's going through the right avenues instead of trying to get out there and doing it by himself. He's got the police in. He's got everyone backing him. It sounds like, and it looks like Latrell's really grown up right in front of us. Like before, a couple of years ago, he's this young 18-year-old kid next Greg Inglis. People don't understand. He's a father. He's a husband. He's all these things, and he's a football player last. He's a human being, a great human being that he is. He looks like he's got the right people surrounding him, because at this delicate time in his career, he needs that, because he's a leader of a young generation. You know, even like he's so articulate the way he comes across. He puts everything, his words, he's well-spoken, he ticks all the box, and he's a strong human, and he can deal with it. But every man has his breaking point. Now he's had enough. He's told the police, and they can take care of it. I just want to see some repercussions to some of these pricks' actions. You know what I mean? You can't just say shit like these police get involved, and then what's going to happen? I'll see the NRL really step on these guys. Say you're never ever going to come, because these guys love South, so they love Penrith or whatever club they want to be there every single game, and it hurts them not to be able to go to a rugby league game. They should never be able to step into a rugby league field in anything, state of origin, test, club football for the rest of their lives. That's it. That's the minimum. Don't give him 2 years. Don't give him 3 years and a fine. It's a fucking maximum penalty, and that's it.
I think there's quite significant similarities between, I guess, what's happening with Latrell Mitchell now, and this is obviously something that's happening to him consistently, and the whole Adam Goodes thing. So Adam Goodes, who is also a proud Indigenous man, he was basically booed out of the game through the AFL. So people were turning around when that was happening with Adam Goodes, and they were saying, I'm not booing him because he's Indigenous, I'm booing him because I don't like the way he plays or whatever. But ultimately, if you're an Indigenous athlete, then you're copping racial slurs in the same way, in a different way from how, you know, other players that you can't catch, you can't tackle, you got, you know, glue hands, whatever it might be. It's a different thing for Indigenous athletes, and people need to understand that.
They need to understand that. And for Latrell to even come out and say stuff like, he knows he's putting himself under pressure. You know what I mean? Because of the Goodes thing. A lot of Indigenous brothers sitting there going, fuck, I don't want to cop what Goodes, if that's Adam Goodes, what they did Adam's good, what are they going to do to me? Yeah. I'm just a young kid. What difference can I make? You can make a hell of a lot of difference, because I think Australia's learnt from what they did to Adam Goodes. It's fucking wrong. And now I'm glad Latrell has stood up for himself and stood up for his people, and not just his people, just all young kids who are on social media getting cyberbullied and everything. He told everyone, he goes, he's got their back. You know, they can contact him. He's told everybody he's got their back. You know what I mean? It's very strong. It's very strong what he was saying to these young kids. It was mainly directed at Aboriginals, but he was telling everyone, cyberbullying and all that kind of stuff. He's had enough. And
if you're the sort of bloke, honestly, who contacts a footballer because you're multi,
and the multis, come on, man,
Jesus Christ,
what sort of human being are you? You know what I mean? Like you're saying, what's it to B-Moz or J-Moz the other week? Oh, I'm going to meet you at the front. Oh, I wish someone would have said that to me after I fucking won.
Yeah,
please, I'd love to. Or even if I lost, please come up to me. But it's a different day, man. Like, these guys are just absolute losers. Social media, it's got its bonuses, but geez, it's got some downfall.
It does. Were you ever contacted on social media? Did people ever, like, when you were playing and say,
no, because I'm not sure. I'm just probably not that dude to really come at, because I'll be straight in your face. Yeah. I just don't really give a shit. I don't sit there and I don't take it. I don't, because I don't think I should have to, especially if it comes to this stuff. If it was racial shit, man, I'm from a family, they will jump and they will find you, and I don't think they want them to get found. You know what I mean? Like, just that sort of stuff. It's yeah, I really didn't cop it that much. There was a couple of times through my career.
There was that time in France when your phone got hacked. That was
heap of times when my phone get hacked.
That's hacked all the
burner
time.
Accounts and stuff. I should start doing KD, like KD and just have a burner account. Just start hammering everyone. I'm gonna start doing that. So
that'd be good. Maybe we should never.
I don't know.
Fake take
but
account.
Good on you, Latrell, for sticking up. You know, you carry a big burden.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if you're a young kid, that's your role model, Latrell.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, the Broncos continue to be the biggest shit show in the NRL. As of today, they're chasing Mitchell Moses, Daly Cherry Evans,
Kalen Ponga,
Stan Jerd, Mark Bugden. They're going all
Mick
out.
Neal.
Mick Neal.
Yep.
He's captain coach. My thing with the Broncos, you know who they chase, Will?
Who's that?
There's some really good young players coming through. Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
Tom Dearden.
Sam Walker.
David Fafita.
They're four probably the best up-and-coming stars.
If they could get hold of...
They should get him and try him. If they had him in their system.
That'd be good.
You know, it would be great for the club. But you know what? come on, man, what are they doing
They're
trying to
just one of
chase?
those small clubs.
Yeah, like this. I mean, we've had this conversation, and gone are the days of like everyone keeps saying, no one wanted to leave the Broncos back in the 2000s and the 70s. I mean, the 80s and 90s. Yeah, they won and everything like that. No one really wanted to leave Queensland. Money wasn't that big. The kids weren't the same as they are right now. They have no love for the Bulldogs. They have no love for the Roosters. It's all about the bottom dollar. They know exactly what they're in there for. They're a business. There's no loyalty. So fuck it. They've peeped onto the game really, really early. And it's no fault of the Broncos or any other club like West Tigers and all that kind of stuff. I'm sick of like coaches getting blamed, boards getting blamed. Who can you blame? Maybe it's just a generational thing. You're just going, these little fuckers just don't care. They're just going to get their money. If they're not happy, they just get out.
I just think, and you would know more about this than I do, but I look at recruitment. Recruitment now, I think, is probably the biggest dark art in rugby league. So you look at the West Tigers and their recruitment over the last few years. It has been genuinely appalling, right? So you look at the Broncos now. So the Broncos are in a hole. There's no question. There's reports today that they've tapped Matt Lodge on the shoulder and they've said, off your pop, Matt, we're going to pay, you're okay to negotiate with other clubs. We're going to pay 400 grand out of your contract. He's getting 800, whatever. So it frees up 400 grand. And I said to you this morning, I was like, what prop are they going to get for 400? You know what they're going to do with the 400? Top up Mitchell Moses' potential contract. When will clubs learn that you can't give all your money to one player and expect them to save you? It has never worked.
I just don't get it. And as I said, like we don't know who these recruitment officers are. We don't know who the GMs are. We don't know who the CEOs are. They're quick to blame the coach because the coach is always there.
Yeah.
That's the easy quick. What about your recruitments? Why are we getting him? Why are we trying to get rid of this kid? How are you blaming a front row like Matt Lodge for losing your games?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like that kid, you cannot blame. Look at the stars in that team, and you're trying to offload a front row, and that's going to fix your problems.
To buy a halfback.
Come on, man. To buy a halfback. You just got, and Sam Walker walked out of your doors. Dearden's walked out of your doors. You can't get the best out of Milford. Who's Milford got this week? He's got some young Gamble kid.
Gamble.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's just stop pointing fingers like this. And this is the thing. I actually don't know what the problem is up in Brisbane.
And
you had Wayne, you got Seabold, then you got someone else, and you're back with Kevy now. Kevy's the most passionate human in the world. You saw him on the weekend. He's sitting there holding that fucking jersey, Broncos jersey, in tears. He's a very emotional man, Kevy, and he's sitting there just pretty much pleading with his players, like pretty much, why? But I'm just saying, I think it's a generational thing. We just got these young kids coming through. They don't really care about the club. Gone are the days where these young kids are growing up in Brisbane going, I can't wait to play with the Broncos. Yeah, they're probably looking Broncos as a stepping stone so I can just get my NRL career kicked off.
Well, let's putting your footy hat on for a second. If you're looking at the Broncos and you're not worrying about salary cap, whatever, and you're going, all right, how do you fix the Broncos? Because you've got a reasonable forward pack. You can't, like on paper, it's a good forward pack. Your halves aren't firing. Okay, I get that. You've got Katoni Staggs coming back. You've got Asako who's doing a reasonable job at fullback. So your spine, I guess, your 9's probably not strong enough. Your 7's not strong enough. Yeah.
And people still have chances on Milford to try and come good because he's the key to that side. You can have the best forward pack in the world and you have the worst spine and you get beat. That's what the Broncos are. Terrible spine and a really good forward pack and some good pieces around it, but you can't. Katoni Staggs can't ignite and can't get out of the blocks unless he's got a good 6 and a good back rower. You know what I mean? They don't, and the halfback can't do anything. The 9 can't get going. If the forwards are really, it's such a big cycle and it sucks. I couldn't even name the 9 every single week for the Broncos, or the 7, or the 6. There's been 4 or 5 different combinations. The only one stay there is Osaka. So it's just like the 9 needs his work. If the 7 and the 6 are dominant, and if the 9's not a creative 9, like I don't think he is, even regardless about how much Payne, Haas, and Lodge just fucking knock blokes over, if he's not a runner or a player like a Cameron Smith or Cook or anything like that, what do you got to do? I don't know how you fix that. Do you just pass the ball off the ground and just give it to your 7, who doesn't really know what to do? He doesn't go to the line because he's petrified. And then, where does he pass the ball to the 6, like Milford, who's just playing terrible? You know what I mean? Like it just looks like when it gets to the spine, it's just like they have no idea. And it's like front rowers and that can only do so much. outside backs can only do so much. Then it's up to that spine.
I look at Croft and Dearden, right? So he's been in and out, and you've been picking Croft and Dearden, and so Dearden signs with the Cowboys, and Dearden all of a sudden gets the arse, right? Now that is probably to do with the fact that the club's got the shits that he signed with the Cowboys. Whatever. Sam Ayub came out and said they didn't even make him an offer, but I look at that and I go, okay, so is Tyson Gamble the future of the club? Like,
I never heard of him, but hopefully he plays some good football. I'm not going to hate on the young kid, but I don't think so. He's fourth. He's fourth down.
That's what I mean. They've had 15 halfbacks. I just don't understand what the plan is.
I've got no idea. I've been trying to think about it, and all I just keep thinking about is just it's not the coach. Like Kevy's like. And that's what the NRL do. We keep blaming the coaches. The West, look at Madge under the pump. Every coach who doesn't win, it's the coach's fault. The coach, every single team has the same plays. It's all about execution when the players get on the field under pressure. It's about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like NFL with the X's and O's and you're calling plays in the quarterback's hands and the wide receivers and tight ends and everyone's moving different formations and. I just hate to be a coach. I would never, ever coach.
Well, talking about the NFL, the latest, I just feel a little bit at the moment like the NRL are trying to change things for change's sake. So they're talking now about a conference system, bring in a new side from Brisbane, a new side from New Zealand. Now, how that they think two sides of New Zealand's going to work, they can't get one going, but the conference system essentially would be a Sydney conference where all the Sydney teams play each other, and the theory behind that is that it's like a local derby every week and crowds will come, blah, 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 and then there's an away conference. So if the theory is that the Sydney conference is going to get heaps of crowd, then at what point do Melbourne playing the Raiders or the Titans playing the Knights, that's got no sort of derby feel to it. So you're saying now that you're going to get all the Sydney clubs and they're going to get big crowds, and what about the other ones?
Yeah, I totally don't understand what they're trying to do. All I know is it means more money for the NRL. Let's just get all the smoke and mirrors out of the way, more games on TV. You know what I mean? It's just a money grab. Again, it's not. If this system is not broken, why do we have to fix it? The games are so explosive and so good to watch at the moment. Like, what's there to fix? I can understand from, when you hear Gus talking, you can articulate it really well and he knows how to explain things. And, I sort of get it. But then I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's all about the dollar, isn't it?
Well, I honestly don't understand the value add.
Where you adding the value? It's something different. I don't really see, man. Unless they can talk about it a little bit more and a little bit more in depth. I don't really understand it because the salary cap has worked. I just say because there's been a couple of blowout games this year. It's not that, teams rebuild, they build, they rebuild, they build, they rebuild. That's what the salary cap's all about, managing the cap. Maybe some of these recruitment officers and GMs and CEOs need to be fucking sacked.
Well, they do. I mean, from club's perspective. But if you look at the conference, so the theory will be that there'll be 25 rounds and then the top 4 sides from each conference will go through. So...
yeah.
Sides,
it's like the West.
It's your NFL, but sides ebbs and flow, right? So sometimes you might get it so that all the Sydney teams are strong, and sometimes you might get that all the other sides are strong.
I think that they just be really careful when you pick the two conferences. Don't just pick just because Sydney are in Sydney. Pick two decent conferences. Do you know what I mean? Like put South. And, maybe the Roosters in a different conference. So every year they can meet in this potential Super Bowl or whatever they're going to do it. Do you know what I mean? Because if they're in the same conference, they can't meet in the grand final. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because the best from the best from that conference, the best from this conference, you put the Roosters and South in one, they both can't get there. They'll get to that the conference final, the Western Conference final, just like if you put it in basketball terms, Eastern Conference, Western Conference. The Lakers and the Clippers can't get in the World Series, can they?
No.
Or whatever you call it, the World Championships. But that's little things like that. They need to go, okay, well, these two need to be in different conferences. Like the two New Zealand teams need to be in two different conferences. Let's not, you got to talk about all these logistics and everything like that. Canberra, Melbourne, North Queensland. You need a derby. I get it with the derbies in Sydney, but be careful, because not every team. Just say if they get this kickstart in 5 years, who's to say the Bulldogs won't be on top? Penrith might be down the bottom. The Gold Coast could be up the top. Brisbane could be back up top. Do you know what I mean? Let's not make these decisions now because of people's performances, but be careful of these conferences. and who you select. You want a couple of derbies in there every time, but like don't put the Roosters and Souths in the same thing. Don't put the Bulldogs and Parramatta in the same thing because people potentially want to see those guys in the grand final. You know what I'm saying, don't you?
I just don't understand why this makes anything better.
Because it's money. Yeah. That's it. It must mean more money to the NRL. That's the only way I can look at it. Because if we can break it down like now, we know, I think any Aussie who supports basketball or NFL knows how conferences work. You know what I mean? Like, no one's dumb. It's not the 90s where we didn't get all this fucking social media stuff, you know what I mean? And everything's just in your face. A lot of sports nuts follow every single sport. So they're like, what are you doing? So at the end of my thing, it's just like, well, we're obviously going to get more money, more TV rights, which means the cap goes up, all that kind of stuff. Fair play if it's like that. Just be honest.
So one thing I think that people talk about a fair bit, and I don't know, I don't agree with that. People are either for it or against it. With these two extra teams, people say there's not enough talent to go around. I think there is. I think there is enough talent to go around, and I think that if you put some players in a professional system and you give them a chance to grow in the game and develop, then there's going to be, when you were coming through and obviously back in the 90s, sort of when I was still playing, there was first grade, reserve grade, there was 3 grades on the same day. But
you have a look how strong sport was back in the late 90s. Like even Union, you could go down to round weekend, it's fucking jam-packed. You know what I mean? You go down there now, it's like, who's playing?
Yeah.
Like in 97, I played in that Super League year. So you had 10 teams in Super League. You had 12 teams in ARL. All teams had 3 teams.
Yep.
Stacked. First grade, reserve grade, third grade. And then under 19s, and then under, do you know what I mean? It was just jam-packed, and you had so much talent coming up. That was the time to start conferences.
Yeah.
Maybe now, because, I mean, the 20s thing has killed it. You hear Gus Gould. Like, people don't really love Gus, you know. He's one of the smartest motherfuckers in the game.
Yeah.
He knows everything. And we said it before. Like, Gus should run the NRL. Him and V'landys. Like, they just know so much. He knows what the development is like at the game. He knew the NYC would kill the game. Look what it's done. Killed the game. These little fucking kids rolling on under 19s, 20 kids, putting them on TV. Of course their egos are going to get in the way. And it's going to fucking ruin reserve grade. What did it do?
Yeah.
Ruined exactly what he said. So let's just back to seeing if we can get 2 conferences and if we can make more teams. Do we have enough players? I'm with you. Maybe. It just won't be as like what people want. We want fucking Penrith and South every week.
Yeah.
Don't we? We want the best of the best because we get exposed to such great games. We get Origin 3 times. You're like, why the fuck is there that intensity every game? Because we just don't have the players. The players can't maintain it. That's just the truth. Even if we did this in 97, 98, you're going to have your good games. You're going to have your really shit games. The Titans are going to play, the Bulldogs every now and again. So I think we have the talent if it's spread out right. Like if they work the cap properly, some of these CEOs and GMs obviously need to be held accountable big time because they create rosters. You know what I mean? They're out there scouting other players. They're out there doing a lot of work behind the scenes. They seem to just wash their hands when your team's getting beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we do in a little way. I don't think we'll have the superstars. We'll have a lot of stars. Just your average sort of players and a couple of big stars. Like it's if they really want to drain it.
The future Willie Mason's out there. I know it.
He's in Toronto West, just chilling.
Just doing his best. So this week's games, which are not working on a conference system, they are just the good old-fashioned pick a couple of teams and pull them out of a hat and off they go. So Thursday night, we have got the grand final preview. The Raiders versus the Rabbitohs. That was what I picked at the start of the year. Raiders.
Really?
Yeah, I know. The Raiders. I don't want to talk about it.
Wow. What do you think about Big Papa getting rested?
Look, I don't know. He has always started the season a bit slowly. There's no question about that. I thought he'd come out of the blocks because he had the boxing at the start of the year. Junior Paulo came out of the blocks. He's trailed off a bit now. Maybe they've overtrained a bit for the box. For the boxing?
No, I don't think so. I just think Ricky Stewart's very smart. He's a smart dude. Remember a couple of years ago, Big Papa was sort of playing like he is now, and he dropped him? Yeah. Like he clearly dropped him, this dude was an Australian and Queensland representative at that time. He hits your ego. Everyone's got an ego. come back, pretty much the best forward in the game for 3 years. Do you know what I mean? For 3 years, was absolutely killing it. And I think Ricky is going to do the same thing. You know, so I think he's hoping to God that he rests him for 1 week, get your shit together, come back and be Big Papa. Yeah. And just smack, because they follow him, mate. He's his spiritual leader. He's pretty much their captain. He does a lot of things, man. Like he's such a great dude, great player. So when you expose yourself on the biggest stage like Origin and stuff like that, and you kill it, and you win the Dally M Prop of the Year, you get all these awards, and then there's a decline. It's very noticeable. That's why, like, when we put these people on pedestals, that's all we notice. Like, when your game is not, you know, when you're not doing about 200 meters every single game, people start to notice it.
Yeah.
You know, so, man, I have all the faith in Big Papa. I have all the faith in Ricky Stewart. He's just going through a little bit of a shit time now. He knows how to get the best. So that's the best thing about Ricky. He knows who to drop, how to do it. You know, what makes people tick. You know what I mean? He couldn't, if he had a younger kid, he probably couldn't do it to him like this, because they'd be like, he wouldn't be resilient. You know what I mean? He might go, oh my God, every coach hates me, I'll get a release. But he can do it to Big Papa, and hopefully he comes back and gets back to where he was. I don't think he was that far off, but Ricky's fucking hard, man.
How did you like Walker at fullback last week? Cody Walker?
Yeah, I think he's a natural fullback, to be honest. Like, he can slot in anywhere.
I just found he didn't get his hands. I think because he hasn't played there, he didn't get his hands on the footy enough. I feel like maybe Alex Johnson should have gone back there. I don't know. Look, they won the game.
I thought Alex Johnson would have been my pick, but because Benji's playing so good, he's played himself off the bench into the starting role. But
he was phenomenal again last week. That second half, he won him the game.
Unbelievable. I mean, like, you'd like to think, you know, he's 36 years old. He's doing it for all the old boys. I think he's the only one playing. It was from my era.
That's left.
That's left.
Yeah.
From that 2000, maybe. I think there's one more person. I don't know. But, like, he's just absolutely killing it. I'm glad. I'm so happy for him, because he was, mate, a couple of 3 or 4 months ago, just sitting at home going, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Now he's like played himself probably back into a New Zealand jersey if he really wants it.
What about Wade Bennett just picking? It's phenomenal.
Yeah, but Walker at fullback, not sold on it. I would have put AJ back there, but just because Benji's been playing so good.
The Storm versus the Sharks. Mate, what about, I don't know. Here's another thing as well. So, during the week, Phil Rothfield.
That was a Young Henry's.
How are we going to go? We're on to the Young Henrys now, because we've run out of Stone and Wood. And Young Henrys, I tell you what, they are.
I don't mind it.
It's a good beer, but the only thing is, if you just hang on,
hear it.
Whoop.
So the people at home on the podcast,
if you hear that noise or not,
no, you know it's a beer. That's all right.
It's a good beer. It's a nice beer. Young
all
Henrys.
Right.
So
Storm and Sharks. What are the Sharks getting done by the Dogs?
The Sharks. Obviously, they lost a game against the Bulldogs that no one probably expected them. They've sacked their coach mid-season. The Buzz wrote an article saying, I was going to send a text message to the chairman saying you've ruined our season, but I didn't send it.
Like an angry letter.
You know what he did then? He printed it in the paper, Will. So I feel like he's seen it. Don't write the text message.
Buzz is the best, mate.
He's
the
written
best.
in the paper. I was like, just send the text
He's
message.
like, fuck, I should send a text. Actually, you know what? I'm the head writer for the Telegraph. I'm going to put that shit back page.
And then act like he was a good bloke not sending an abusive letter.
Oh, mate, he's the best.
The Storm.
Yeah,
What about, I'll tell you what I love the Storm. They get the poop. He's the best fullback in the world. And then he gets injured and they bring in Nico Hines and he's near the best player on the field.
Jerome Hughes.
Oh, he's good.
Come on, man.
He
was fullback a couple of years ago. It was him and Pappenhausen and Drinkwater. I didn't know who was going to be the fullback. God damn.
And they had Brody Croft. Bye-bye,
Brody Croft.
And Riley Jack.
Riley
He's
Jacks.
gone. The Broncos versus the Titans. The good thing about that is that you get to see what I reckon was the best thing when they played them last time was Pangai Jr. and Fafita just going head to head.
That'll be a brutal game, man. Don't get just because the Broncos are a little bit out of sync. That game's that's the rival game now. You know, you're going to see Payne Haas is going to be back. Like, they're going to be all right. Try and stop Fafita on the edge, please. Milford's coming back. He'd be like, fuck, can you just pick me back in reserve grade for one more week? Because he's got Fafita running at him again. I mean,
Well,
Give him some help, please.
Surely they put Pangai straight on. I reckon Fafita's going to not struggle, but
No. You just got to. Depends where they put Pangai. If Pangai's at right 4, he's 1-on-1 with him.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where I'm putting him. You take care of Fafita and stop him.
You stop that whole left side.
But then because he doesn't run, because he's a smart back rower. Did you see him run over the back rower in the last Broncos game? No, he gets, because the halfbacks are bringing him onto the ball. He can't give him early ball because Pangai will get him straight away.
Yeah.
You got to engage Pangai and then go out, and then he's going to run that outline or the inside shoulder. Do you know what I mean? But you got to engage Pangai because that dude has big leg speed and he'll come at you and he'll fucking flog you. You know what I mean? So he's got a big job, Pangai, but like Milford just needs. Sometimes you can do as much work on the inside and put so much pressure. You just got to do your job, make your tackles. I mean, Fafita's probably the hardest bloke in the comp at the moment to tackle 1-on-1. So you just don't want him to get 1-on-1. That's your only thing if you're the Broncos. No 1-on-1s. Inside pressure to the halves because they're not that quick. They release the ball quite slow and get inside pressure. And I'm scared of centers, mate. And then they're all going to come up and in. And then they're going to hit that fucking Brian Kelly. And they're going to have the fullback around the back. Brimson, bang, bang, bang. It'll be numbers on the edge, all because of Fafita's line. They'll be shitting themselves. So hopefully they're smart enough to go, all right, let's just get man up on Fafita, have inside pressure, and then we all move. Move to the sideline because Brimson will cut you in half. Brian Kelly is a stud. And then that left, I think it's Thompson on the edge.
Do you know what? I've decided that I love Corey Thompson because he's about this big.
How hard is he to tackle? Damn it.
But have you seen how hard he runs too?
I love him, mate. Him and Brimson, these little dudes, mate. They're doing it for the little guys.
Little fellas. The Panthers are on absolute juggernaut at the moment. They have not lost a game. Someone, I think it was Phil Gould, said no one will beat them in the hole. There's a market now for them to go through undefeated. So
fucking serious. That's what I was death riding them last year not to beat our.
What was it? 17
asterisks. Our 17 in a row with an asterisk.
No asterisks.
No asterisks. No
asterisks.
No one cares. But yeah, I think, mate, Panthers can go. They can go all the way, but they're going to get a loss.
They have to.
They have to, mate. I'm pretty sure all the Panthers going. Let's just go for the season and be unbeatable. Like, you know, they're going to lose 1 or 2.
Well, they're playing against Tom Trbojevic this week.
Just Tom.
Just by himself.
What a difference. Have you ever seen anyone make a difference to one team? Even Andrew Johns didn't make this much difference to the Knights.
I've never seen. And not only that, the players around him, like Ruben Garrett looks like a genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You look at, I'll tell you what I have loved watching the last couple of weeks. I reckon that Josh Schuster's got a huge future. I think he's playing himself out of 5'8". Because he looks like he's just a big kid now.
So people with Manly, I explained to you today, with Manly, what Tom Trbojevic does being in the side compared to fucking Dylan Walker, who's absolutely terrible. You know what I mean? He can't catch a ball, he can't tackle, he can't do anything. He adds nothing in attack. And then you got Tom Trbojevic. So just say you're in the middle of the field, you got a 5-5 split. Usually, and then isn't it the first 5 or 6 weeks, and you see DCE over the one side, you're going to stack that side. You're going to put 6 defenders and not even give a fuck about the other side because you know you probably got Kieran Foran there and no other fullback. There's nothing else happening. So you stack the long side and you shut it down straight away. You sit Tom Trbojevic instead of Dylan Walker behind the ruck and you go, wow, now what am I going to do? I'm going to stay in that 5-5 split. And as soon as he moves, he engages. So just say, so Jake Trbojevic is a ball player. So if you've got DC and that over the other side, you got Jake here. If Jake gets the ball, and then you've got Tom around the back, that means like you're going to have 5 and 5. Do you know what I mean? So it engages DCE's play better. Or if you dummy that way, then you get DCE and then you get Kieran Foran down another short side. So it creates numbers. Everything he does creates numbers. So they don't understand. So middles, if you look it up, if you just see DC, you're just going to stack that side. It's easy to defend it. If I see Tom Trbojevic and Jake over there and you see that long side, you're fuck, what are we going to do? So it's that evasion. It's ridiculous what he does, man.
When you
just
were
that
playing,
one player.
Who, when you were playing, was there a dressing room where you were in where there was one bloke that just carried the energy of a team? Was it Joey or was it I can't remember a bloke who Manly must just walk into the sheds and go, there's Tom, we're sweet.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, that one, because he's got such good leaders, but like with Jakey, but they haven't had that support system. Do you know what I mean? Like what I was saying, like him just being on the field makes you make a different decision instead of Dylan Walker or someone at the fullback. When you just go, what's he going to do? Can't kick, can't pass, can't break the line. Then you got him who does everything. So you're going to have to put another number there. So that creates stuff for DCE down short sides, and like Kieran, don't not bet on Kieran Foran. He's still a gun. And they can all play out of Manly. They just couldn't because they had no one. They just relied on DCE, man. It's just like, and that guy just, it's ridiculous what he does. But
I wonder if Manly now, talking about recruitment, look back and go, you know what, we could have just used a little bit of Daly Cherry Evans' money to keep William Marshall Mason in.
Mate, as long as they kept trying, I would be going, you know what? Give Tom Trbojevic $1 million plus, please.
I'd be going.
Even if he can't, his hamstrings aren't right, I'm still giving him $1 million a year. He's earned his money.
If I'm Cherry Evans, I'm paying specifically for Tom Trbojevic to have a physiotherapist. I'm getting $1 million a year. There's $50,000 a year just for someone to follow Tom Trebojevic's hamstrings around.
That's it. Just stretch him.
The Bulldogs, they won. Will they won? They won a game. Very exciting.
I know. I was happy for him, actually. I don't like seeing my old club get absolutely belted every single week. And then just to beat the Sharks was good.
They've been improving.
Yeah, it was good. One thing that was very noticeable, when they won, Baz was really emotional. He's not an emotional person. He's sitting there and he's hugging Freddie Serraldo. The great Freddie Serraldo's been over there for 30, 40 years. And, there wasn't really much, hugs from the players. And I'm like, dude, obviously it means something to Baz to sit there, come down on the sideline and stuff. Maybe they're just not used to winning, but, heads up next time, mate, give your coach a hug. And you've all been in the same shit for, a couple of months now. So it means a lot to Baz to even do that. He shed a tear. He was emotional. It's like, come on, boys, you're better than that. That's just the way, maybe they're young, maybe they just don't care. But when your coach is on the sideline showing that much emotion, fucking hug him, please.
Give him a cuddle.
Just give him a cuddle. He's been through the ringer just the same as you. Just don't leave him out there. It was terrible. Maybe they just don't know how to celebrate.
Not used to it. They'd learn the team song with some of the new blokes.
They wouldn't have a clue.
They wouldn't have a clue. You'd still remember the old team song. You belt it out every now and then. The Knights are playing against the Roosters.
Usually we wouldn't sit here and break down every game, but fuck me. We have to. That's actually all right.
There's actually some, do you know what? 2 weeks ago, we're sitting here saying the comp's uneven, and then all of a sudden...
Now we've got to break these... Now we have to do our job and break the fucking games down.
But everything's starting to slowly get a little bit better,
It is.
The Cowboys are winning.
You got the Cowboys, exactly. The Bulldogs, the Sharks have won a couple. The Brisbane sort of won one.
The Tigers are going to finish 7th. So they're just about to make a lake run.
But the Tigers, they won that game against Newcastle, so they've already won. So everyone's off scratch.
They've broken the duck. Do you know what's funny? I look at Penrith now. They've just brought out a market for Penrith. I think you can get on from betting site for them to go through the season undefeated.
Come on.
And then the Bulldogs, they put a market out last week for them to go through without winning a game, and they won a game. So maybe this is the week Penrith lose.
Well, that's how it usually works.
Omen bet. Knights, Roosters, the Willie Mason Cup.
I don't know, man. Roosters are pretty impressive, man. Sam Walker, I love it. What I don't like is the hype, but you can't help it in today's age. You can't hide these kids. Hopefully he's got a really good team around him. I know he's got a good uncle there, Uncle Texas, who is walking from fucking Cairns to Brisbane.
Is that a long way? I don't know.
Are you serious?
I don't know.
You eastern suburbs prick.
Is that how far?
It's like 2,000 kilometers. Someone fact check that shit for me, please.
Is that a lot? It's a long way.
No, I just want to commend him. I know he's a good friend of mine, Chris. He's out there by himself. Not by himself. He's got a good crew with him. But mate, he's walking there for I think it's for Big Charlie Webb.
Oh, good.
It's a great cause, and he's just doing a great job. And God bless you, Texas. And I think I'm going to join him somewhere from Cairns to Brisbane, just for about 10K.
It might only be 10K from Cairns to Brisbane. You might only have to do 1K.
I'm trying to get on it. How far? How far is it? How many kilometres? 1,600.
Oh, that was good. It's close.
I'll run that.
That was close.
I'll run that in a week, Texas. Please. What are you doing? So imagine, I love Chris, but he's doing this out of his heart, and he didn't have to, but he's going to raise so much money, and good on you, mate. We're going to try and we'll keep an eye on you every single week. Listen to our podcast, mate. You know
How long's that?
it's going to take him fucking 66 days. He's doing 30K a day.
Oh, that sounds awful.
339 walking hours. If you do one more hour than that, Chris, you haven't had a crack.
Oh, it's like breaking a marathon. If you go to 340, forget about it.
It's crazy, mate.
I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, the Roosters. How does James?
So
Tedesco...
sorry, get on to at Fund My Challenge app. That's the one where you can support him. So he's doing a great thing. I'm not here to fucking plug anything like that, but he's a good friend and he's doing something great. A lot of people wouldn't do this, man. People talk shit, but they don't do it. He's doing it.
I definitely
I wouldn't do it either.
No, it's too far.
66 days, yeah. All right. That's enough.
James Tedesco is lucky to have a head. What about that shot?
God, you got to be careful, man.
Why is it that the Roosters...
Sorry, what about Talakai? Did he just not put the best shot I've ever seen in the last 20 years and he got suspended?
Suspended.
How they fucking do that?
I know.
The judiciary is driving everyone fucking mad. We talked about it last week. It's ridiculous, but there were some beautiful hits on the weekend. It was crazy. That's a man on a boy. That's what that is. That's straight up just bitched him. Bang, I'm bigger, I'm stronger. You're done. There was not a shoulder charge in it.
And you sent me a video of a shot in the Queensland Reds Western Force game that was genuinely exactly the same. Now, Union's often quite tough on. Like, if you touch the head in Union, you're gone. It was the same shot, and this bloke, nothing.
Nothing. I mean, they're just
consistency.
And that's all anyone wants is consistency, judiciary. I don't know who's on it, but they were talking about, can we change it, all this kind of stuff. Just it's bullshit. I don't know what we're going to do. Sack everyone.
Sack everyone. So, James Tedesco's head, where is it? Still on the SCG.
Mate,
Will he play this week?
No, he shouldn't be. He got named, but I don't think he should be.
No, I was surprised he got names.
But
I don't think
it's a bit of a, you're not going to name him.
No.
It's James Tedesco. Imagine you've got a young kid going, fucking James Tedesco. It's like, oh, shit, are you playing?
Suwali.
Could they? He got named on extended bench.
Yeah, he's number 21.
If, who are they playing?
They're playing
the Knights. I mean, you put Joseph Manu back to fullback. You put him at right centre. It's pretty safe. I'm not saying rush the kid, but it looks like they're going to have it. He could be a chance, which is great. They're not going to name him, not going to do anything. Put him in extended bench. Who cares?
Yeah. If you've got James Tedesco on your super coach side,
but Tedesco, you know what I mean? Like, just that hit was, as I said, I keep harping about it, man. Like, come on. What about the kid from the Warriors?
Oh,
he didn't even do anything.
Nothing. He got off.
Some of these hits, still. I know that because that was media pressure.
Yeah.
They shit themselves. I think I tweeted, you shit yourselves, judiciary. Absolutely shit yourself because you copped a little bit of heat.
Do you swear on tweets? That's no good.
I can swear all the time.
You do love a swear. Warriors, Cowboys, that's one thing. Tell me, Nathan Brown comes out and he's basically already backpedaling a little bit going, we're 4 to 5 weeks from out, we're going to Melbourne and we couldn't win. If your coach says that, like we can't win, you're going...
Did he say that, Brownie?
He was like, well, not can't win, but
it was
the implication
grey
was
area.
I'm like, don't say that, coach.
No, I'm with you.
Don't say that.
Just nothing but positivity, Brownie. Yeah. Come on, man. He's got those guys going good. I mean, last week was a towel up, but like before that, they beat St. George, didn't they?
They beat
the week before?
Yeah, they did. Beat St. George.
It's like they're not going terrible. The Storm are just ridiculous. They're on that next level. Cowboys, just keep improving, I suppose. They're winning, and they're winning without Taumalolo, apparently.
He's playing every week.
He's just playing out of sight, isn't he?
He's
out of sight, literally out of sight. He's fucking playing his ass off.
He has been tremendous.
Get him to the Dogs.
He's got a point to prove.
Yeah.
He's still got 20 years on his contract left. And the Dragons versus the West Tigers.
I don't care.
The Dragons' bubble is bursting. They reckon Josh Maguire's the only person now that hasn't won a game.
I know. Why to point him out like that? What a bunch of fuckwits.
Why would you say that?
Because it's clickbait. It's clickbait. Oh, you haven't won a game. Let's say bullying. What about that? Don't bully Maguire like that. You know how sensitive he is.
He'd be sensitive.
Yeah, he's as sensitive as me.
Do you reckon? I don't know. This game, I reckon that game's going to be right. I'm going to tip the Tigers.
Really?
Yep, I am.
Whatever.
Oh, here we go. Now it's my favourite time of the week.
The year. Oh, week.
The life.
All right.
Willie's Big Boy.
All right.
It doesn't.
Willie's Big Boys.
I need to listen to that more so it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
affect
good.
me as
Don't
much.
laugh about it.
I can't
Our
help
boy
it.
Zig, that's the Big Boys.
Did he say? Did you say?
Yeah,
that,
it's
Zig?
Ziggy there, right there.
Voice
Yeah,
over.
my 3 points. James Fisher-Harris. I can't say a better word about him. Like 52 minutes, 17 hit-ups, nearly 200 metres. Like the amount of work that this guy's getting through and just leading that pack. And him and Leota, would not be surprised if Leota's on the bench for New South Wales. Trust me. Inside mail. Not really. But imagine if it was, and I look like a genius.
Oh, no.
Fisher-Harris, mate, what he's doing is all quality. It's just it's nothing but quality. Like that whole pack is stacked, but he is their best player. Honestly, if he's not going forward like that, I don't think anyone's going forward. That's 3 points. 2 points is, even though they got absolutely walloped, Payne Haas, man. He's playing some good football. I'll get his stats up here. I'm not much of a stat man, but when you're doing, you're playing your 60 minutes in the middle, 185 metres gained. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's making over 30 tackles, and it's just, mate, the work rate that he's getting through is unbelievable. And then Motueka, was it? Moeaki Fotueka. Sorry, guys. He's got 1 point. He's me. Even though you're playing against the Rabbits, the only reason why I'm giving these points because he's playing against the Rabbits. So he's got a great pack, and I'll get his stats up as well. Like 64 minutes in the middle. I don't think people understand that or respect that. What these boys do in the middle, the amount of work off the ball and everything like 64. He's only 21 years old, 14 hit-ups, 167 metres against a pack like that. Do you know what I mean? So even though it was a losing game, Titans had that game to win. But like he was that strong. He got against Tom Burgess and a few of the other boys there. They got a big pack, and for him to stand up, he's like, people don't understand. He's 22 years old. He's only played 100 games already. It's going to be a beast. So anyway, leaderboard is 6 of Junior Paulo. 4 right now it's what is it? Fisher Harris would be on 7. If my maths is correct.
No, I think that takes into account the current.
Well, they should tell me that.
I just did.
All right.
I
think you're lying because I think Fisher Harris has got 3 more than that.
Well, if he has, then I will.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
I swear.
All right, let's have a bet on it. And you know what? That's a good segue. Harry from bettingsite.com.au. How are you, my son?
Guys, I couldn't be better. It's great to be back once again.
You've got a wonderful knit on there. I like it.
Well, the cooler months are starting to settle in.
It's cold in the harbour, isn't it?
Keep rugged up.
You started off with a collared shirt. We're moving into knit. How long till we're nude?
Well, I'm just settling. Oh, I don't know. I'm just settling on a style, really. I mean, the birthday suit. I mean, who knows? We get a bet up this week. Maybe the birthday suit comes out. But.
So hang on. So what you're saying, Harry, is that if we get a bet up this week, you'll be nude next week.
No. Sorry, no. Have that stricken from the record.
We're live, mate. That's all right.
Yeah.
You can't strike anything on this show. We've tried. All right. So I'm going to have. I'll tell you what's off-putting. I don't know whether the producer is directly and consciously spelling my name wrong or whether, but it's off-putting.
No, he does.
He just, I don't know. He's not the smartest bloke, but I'm going to take, and this is a very, very safe bet. So I want nothing but positivity from you, please, Harold.
You're gonna get it.
Storm 13 plus, Titans win, Roosters win, Eels 13 plus.
I think at $4.61 with Ladbrokes, that is an absolute layup. I think you got no dramas there.
Thank
The
you.
Sharkies aren't going
like an
down there.
Andrew
They're not
Gaze
covering
layup.
the score. So I think you're all good. The Bulldogs and the Eels, their last 3 games have been tight, scrappy affairs. So maybe a bit of that old
You would hope so. Coming off a win, you would hope so with the Dogs.
Yeah, they'll be a bit more confident. Maybe that's in a little bit of but that's the only leg I'm worried about there for you.
I genuinely
and I'm not even that worried about it.
Could easily blow out too, mate.
I just thank you, William. I just said I wanted positivity, Harry, and that's
I'm being positive. I think it's a little bit. That's the only leg there where there's a little bit of danger.
Oh,
there you go.
Well,
Anyway.
let's talk about William. So William
All right,
has come out.
I got the
with-
Raiders on the line, Sea Eagles line, Dragons versus West Tigers. the whole point was it 43.5?
Over.
I'm taking
43.5.
I think that's all right, isn't it? I'm sort of getting used. I'm getting used to these whatever they're called.
You're becoming very good at betting, William. I mean, you've got one up, so that's.
But I'm sort of nearly winning every week.
Yeah, we are.
Instead of getting blown out on Thursday and I'm done.
What do they pay for nearly winning at bettingsites.com? Is that something? Righto.
No.
Zippo.
Yeah.
Righto.
No money back, unfortunately. I like the Raiders plus 5.5. I think that's good. The Raiders and South in the last few years have got into really tight tussles down there at Canberra Stadium. Not sure if they win, but I think they can really, really push South. That'll be an absolute cracker. Manly at 14.5 is interesting. At some point, Penrith have to let in more than 12 points. They haven't let in more than 12 all year. And since Tommy Turbo's been back, they've been averaging 38 points a game, the Sea Eagles. So you got to think something's got to give for Penrith at some point. So I kind of don't mind going Manly at the 14.5 start there.
Yep.
And look, Sunday afternoon down at Wollongong, more than 43.5 points. I absolutely think you're on there with that one as well.
Why were you more
I think
positive? He was more positive about your bet then.
Because he knows that the Eels and the Bulldogs is a big rivalry.
Oh, again with you, negativity.
I'm with you. I
Thank
think
you.
the Eels.
I think
will
the
blow
Eels- I think
them
the
out.
Eels win,
But
but-
we're just going off a little bit of like, hey, there's a rivalry there that goes over 30 years. They hate each other.
This is
and if the Dogs can't come out, I think the Dogs will be good for about 50 minutes, and then it'll blow out at the end.
Thank you. All right.
By 12.
So, mate, it probably will be the way we've been going. So, the producer, he's got a bet here. I think it must be in reserve grade. It's Geelong win, North Melbourne line, and Essendon win. What teams are they? I don't.
It's already started the conference.
I think that's the other mob.
Is that AFL?
The other mob.
You know what? He is an AFL boy. Last year, he was putting bets on it. He was killing it. He was going all right. But he always stuck to AFL. Now he's been struggling. He hasn't had a win. I've had more wins than him.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
I tell you, speaking of struggling, if you're getting a 56.5 point head start,
Yeah, you're going good.
you are absolutely struggling. North Melbourne, geez. Yeah, if you can't get within 9 goals, you're not going real well.
So
there.
are they with the line? So he's saying North Melbourne will
North
lose
Melbourne
by...
to only lose by 9 goals.
Wow.
That's
how
incredible.
good. So they'll probably win it this year.
Isn't Benny Buckley? Benny Buckley's the CEO or whatever of North Melbourne, isn't he?
I don't know who Ben Buckley
You know Benny
is.
Buckley. He trains at E-Lab with Chang. You'd know him.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
It is,
Oh, my
yeah.
God. I take the piss out of him all the time.
I'm actually going to start giving him a lot of shit about
He's
that.
awful.
All right, so that won't win. But Harry,
Harry, give us yours, mate.
you've gone.
Ooh, Harry.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're making me look good. Hey, this is the old
Look,
Willie
this
from
is like
last
an old
year.
Willie.
I want to go back to that. I want to go back.
Look, we're trying to get money back into some footy clubs, all right? So the quickest way to do it is going to be Roosters 13 plus. I can't believe the Knights are less than $3 in the head-to-head market in that one. Roosters have a terrific record up there. That's 13 plus. Storm 13 plus. The Sharks aren't going to challenge them. That's just good night, Georgie White. I like the Cowboys this week at 1-12 for the upset. Normally when they leave Queensland, it's a little bit of a gamble, but I like them to win by 1 to 12
That's a
points.
good bet.
Yeah, and I've just gone the opposite to Willie with
That's fine because I'm going to go for your bet the whole week.
I've gone Panthers at 14.5
Yeah.
at the head-to-head lines. So
Imagine if we end up on that same day just watching that Panthers game. I'll be
So-
going for you. Don't worry about it.
So what price you got on that?
$29.30 thanks to Sportsbet. But yeah, geez, if it comes between me and Willie,
No, go Harry.
Manly game, there's going to be some fighting words.
100%.
Would you describe this as betting right with bettingsight.com?
Well,
Oh, you
one
are
way-
slick, Ian
There's one
Byrne.
way only to do it, and that is to bet right with Betting Site. We've got different bookmakers with every. We've got Ladbrokes getting in. We've got Bet365. We've got Sportsbet. We're getting the best prices across the market for the punters. So you got to do it right. You got to get the Betting Site.
Mate, if this gets up to, I would suggest that we donate part of the winnings for you to update that knit that you're wearing now because it's pretty average.
Look, mate, I'll get down to the local menswear store.
Don't take shit from him, Harry. Look what he's fucking wearing every week. Jesus Christ.
Look, anything but the birthday suit. That's all we need.
This is his best.
He's
It's
nude
Ian
next
Burns'
week.
best this year.
He's nude next week.
Lumberjack.
From Dubbo. All right, mate. Thank you for everything. We really do appreciate everything that you do. We are going to win this week. I'm confident, and you're going to be nude. So this is wonderful for our female viewers.
Look, if
Thanks,
I'm
Harry.
nude, that means more money in the kitty. So
100.
sometimes you just got to take one for the team.
That's right. If you're nude,
Catch you later, guys.
If he's nude,
All
don't
right,
take
mate.
one for the team.
All right, guys.
See you, mate.
Thank you, Harry, and make sure you have gambling responsibly.
Make sure what?
You gamble responsibly, you idiot.
All right, I'm not going to read out the tips, but the only thing that I have done is that I've gone the West Tigers. Everyone else has gone the Dragons. So I'm a
I
genius.
can't believe you.
Do you know why I have?
Because they're under the pump. Because you think they got some balls.
Because I genuinely don't remember.
No, and you genuinely put them in your top 8 too.
Yeah, I know. It's
And
time.
I put the Dogs.
It's time. Yeah, we're going well.
Yeah, awesome.
We know some
All
stuff.
right, what did I be? I got the Rabbits, Storm, Titans, Panthers, Eels, Roosters, Warriors, Dragons.
I just said I'm not going to read it out.
Well,
Don't care.
I didn't say I wasn't going to read it.
Yeah, that's fair. You can look on it
Touché.
you can look on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, but you probably won't see it on Twitter. But anyway, get on there and have a look. Behind the Willie Mason headline this week, we are going in with very similar to what we spoke about at the start of the show with Latrell Mitchell. When Greg Inglis, and also congratulations to Greg, who has just got engaged
Well done, Greggy.
to his beautiful fiancée, Elise. They're over in Warrington now. I do believe that-
Beautiful, warm Warrington.
oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. He's
Only
actually
minus 10 at the moment, I reckon.
they train indoors, he reckons, but he is going to be playing this week, they say. So
Can't wait. One of the greatest to ever put boots on.
And he will genuinely light this competition up. But anyway, when Greg Inglis was playing for Souths, he was racially abused. When he was playing at Penrith Park, 2 spectators were banned after the level of abuse. And you came out to also say that you had been racially abused at Penrith. Would you like to elaborate, William?
Obviously, it's a topic right now because of what's happened with Latrell. But I remember watching that. Was it last year? Or, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I think.
I'm not
Maybe
sure
3.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I just hate seeing shit like that. You know, Greg is a close mate of mine, and he said that he got called this and this and this, and I saw some journos was trying to make up some bullshit sort of story, going, "What did they say?" and all this kind of. I was fucking over it. I tweeted some shit. I was like, "Hey, pretty much go fuck yourself" to the journos anyway. And I said, I think we'll do another show, and I was like, and the question came like, have I been racially abused? Of course I have. You know what I mean? Like out at Penrith a couple of times. Walking off there like on a Sunday arvo or Saturday. I'm not saying everyone in Penrith is right. I'm not just don't get it twisted like that. But like walking off, you'd hear like, hey Willie, you black, CUNT and all that kind of shit. Never be able to see him because if I saw him, I'm jumping the fence easily. Would not cop anything like that. After the games, they'll be on the hill. We had Hazem El Masri, very proud Muslim. You terrorist, this kind of shit. We had like a lot of Polynesian boys in the team. You fucking black, this and that. Like, it was ridiculous, man. They need security to kick them out, mate. They just going absolutely wild. So I just can't cop shit like that. It's just, it's ridiculous, But that was the worst that we've copped it out there. You know what I mean? I was just like really open, like in the mid-2000s, just really open and saying shit. And you're like we're not jumping the fences, do you know what I mean? Like, and just... I just can't cop. I just can't cop that.
It is lucky there's a fence there.
It is lucky. I mean, it's a little fence you could jump. We had some wild boys in that team too. But I think we just knew the repercussions of jumping the fence and punching the piss out of someone.
Yeah.
Not good.
I hope everybody understands.
But yeah, little things like that's a serious thing that I'm saying. It's like it only happened a couple of times. I played over 15 years. I've played plenty of games. It's only happened a couple of times where I can really notice it. And that was at one time Penrith. I was like, fuck, I hate playing out here. You know what I mean? It was just terrible, but, it happens, man. It's the underbelly racism in this country, man. It seems to boil to the top sometimes like it is right now. So
And there are so many things to abuse you for. That
I know, you can call me something else.
Don't go.
Well, you don't have to, just don't
go
say
low.
that.
Don't need to.
I can, you know what I'm like. I cop that much shit all the time. Yeah, whatever. I've got very thick skin. You call me that, I'm coming after you.
Fair enough too. All right, so that concludes The Take with Willie and Ian for another week.
All right. Follow
We
us on
will
all
be
the
back
socials. We'll be
with
back next week.
Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, everything.
Rate and review. Rate and
Yes,
review.
rate and review, please.
I've just got a note. We've got a big announcement next week.
Ooh.
Big announcement.
All right.
Tune in for it. Goodbye.
Ciao, ciao.
Following Willie more and more. Back in the NRL. There's Willie Mason.
I've forgotten how big Willie actually is.
Perhaps the presence of Willie had the Panthers looking at his imposing frame.
I'm a 25-minute man. Plus. Oh, you got skill, son.
Uppercut right hand by Big Willie.
Too fancy for you.
You've been listening to The Take with Willie Mason and co-host Ian Byrne. Produced by Craig Trewick, recorded and engineered by Zig Parker of Green Room Sydney, and presented by the Handshake Media Network.